So I'm finally making Sisyphus this week, and I'm going to start with the Buzz Off from He-Man. That's the bee guy. Buzzes off. Anyway, and then I had the pop-up head Raph from the 2012 series. I took his arms off. I cut off some of the parts of Buzz Off because I'm going to add my own parts, because Sisyphus has a different like thing on his head, and he's got like, I think they're called mandibles when the teeth are outside of your, I don't know, like some animals have, and they use to eat men, mandibles, and women. But I drilled a hole in his head because he's gonna have a thing coming out, and I sanded it with my cordless Dremel and nail file, and then I cut off his thumbs, well, Raph's thumbs, and then I drilled a hole in the middle because he's gonna have a claw coming out, so I'm gonna make that claw, and I shaved sanded down the other fingers to get the right shape. Then I used toothpicks where I'm gonna put Apoxie Sculpt. This is Apoxie Sculpt. I already mixed the two parts together, and getting them in one claw at a time on each hand. I got the top of his head now. He's got this weird thing coming out of the top of his head, and I don't know exactly what it is, but maybe it's an antenna, I guess, so he can communicate with radios or sense danger. Because the reason I love this character so much, he was a one-off in Tournament Fighters, the old video game. I think he was only in the Sega one, not the Super Nintendo, but anyway, he's dope. And the thing about him is he's a beetle, and the story of, so I'm drilling holes where I'm going to put the arms, and I'm just using dowels for those to connect them, and then I put Epoxy Sculpt to cover like the shoulder area or whatever. And now I moved on to primer. I had some black primer in there already, and I mixed some white primer and some white acrylic paint, and this is going to be my primer coat, so I'm covering everything with that. So Sisyphus is like a Greek mythology thing, character or person, or the story is like he, I don't know, he slept with Zeus's wife or something, because usually that's how these begin, and he got cursed to every day he has to roll a boulder to the top of the hill, and then when he wakes up in the morning he's at the bottom of the hill again. Or sometimes the myth has it he gets to the just about the top, and then he scratches his nose and it falls, and he's got to start over again. I like that one better because it's constantly watching the ball roll down. It's sad. It reminds me of my life, but it's a myth that a lot of people can relate to. I'm using Spackling to fill in all the little gaps and stuff. Spackling dries really fast, and it's perfect for something like this. I have 2mm and 1mm foam. I'm gonna put his armor that goes over his crotch and his hips, and I just cut out the shape, and the 1mm is on the bottom, and then I cut the same shape but cut into 3 and layer those to make that. So Sisyphus, the character, he was just in the Tournament Fighters, and they named him Sisyphus, and he's a beetle, but he's not just any beetle, he's a dung beetle. So they just, if you've watched any nature documentaries, they're in like the sand dunes, and they roll a ball of dung up to the top of the sand dune, and then it just rolls down, and then they have to go get it, and they roll up to the next one, and just constantly. So, and he's called Sisyphus, like the Greek hero, or, well, I guess he's a tragic hero, but it's really relatable if you maybe work a job that you don't like, and every day you go and do the same thing over and over again. Or as an artist, it's with every song, every album, every video in this case, you know, going up that mountain, and then the next week or the next video or the next song you gotta do it again and again and again, constantly rolling this boulder up a mountain. But yeah, I think I had a song called Sisyphus once. Well, I mean, it's out there somewhere, but I made it once. So now I'm using a navy blue, and I'm kind of doing like shading, but before I put the main color. Now I use a fine liner to trace out a circle on his chest, because he's going to have a circle. I used a bright red for his eyes, but first I put a circle of white in the middle, so it'll have a bright spot in the eye. When I put the red, it's brighter there. And a bright yellow, I'm going to do like 3 or 4 coats on this emblem. And then I do highlights on the other side, and hopefully when I put the main color on, it'll show lighter and darker where I put the shading or gradient before. And I have a pumpkin orange that I'm using for his armor now. And so you can see Sisyphus on my shirt here. This is one of the new shirts, and it's why I've been talking about Sisyphus for a while now, longer than I'd like to. It would have been good to do it like a month after I started talking about it, but I had a lot of work to do and to get all these shirts ready and stuff, because at the end I'll be doing a raffle to give away, I think, 3 of these. Well, not this, you can pick which one. I have a bunch of new shirts or new designs, and I'm making them available. I've got a store in Canada where I live, in the US, in the UK, and in the EU. Those are the ones I could get, and that's where most of my audience is. And yeah, we'll talk about those later because I have the other ones beside me. But this is one of them, and Sisyphus, and he's almost at the top of the mountain, but then he tripped and the boulder is rolling down the mountain, and he's going to start all over again. And he says, "Ah, shell," because he's upset that he has to do it again. But it was supposed to be symbolic of my YouTube journey because I finally got monetized, well, like 2 months ago, or yeah, about there. And so it was supposed to symbolize that. And it's like I got to the top of the hill, but then there's just a bigger hill. So that I need a bigger shirt to draw all that. But then it turned out I was still at the bottom of the same hill. And now he has that logo there that I draw on. I put him back together, and now he's ready to go. That's what he looks like, and that was him in the game. But yeah, he's a lesser known character. I think he's super dope, and I love how he's a dung beetle and he's named Sisyphus, because I really relate to the myth of Sisyphus. And he's fighting against the clone Leonardo now. I thought it would be cool to do a little battle because it's from Tournament Fighters, the TMNT game. So I'm gonna start. I'm gonna mess these up a bit. Let's see who won. And then I'll show you more t-shirts. I'll show you, do one at a time. The first winner is JFP 420. He entered a bunch of times, so congratulations to him. So you can get the Sisyphus one, or I'd have a Moon mic. I haven't worn this one yet. It looks dope. Well, I mean, I like it. So this is Moon mic. I did all my Marvel TMNT crossover drawings that I did when I did those videos years ago. Plus, this is the alternate logo for the OnGreenShow before I went with the glasses Leonardo, or sunglasses Leonardo. I have Raph as Wolverine. This one also comes in red, but I just got the white one. So Raph is Wolverine. Leo as Venom, or Lenum. He comes in blue as well. And then maybe my favorite, but I haven't worn the Mikey one yet, and I don't have the color versions of the other two, but Donnie is Hulk, green on green. It also comes in white. And 2 more winners, so JFP 420 and Michael Mamone. I think that's how you say it. And 1 more winner, Polaris Zen Kai. This guy actually is who sent me the weapons for Jenica and Alapex's axes. So that's awesome. I get to send him something now. Thanks a lot for watching, and until next time, remember, always keep your head up. Peace.